can you help me understand what percentage of the people who push this nonsense actually believe it? And what percentage of it is just about money and power and control? You're the expert on this stuff. I'm not. But it sure seems like most of these people don't believe it either.
Yeah, it's a great question. What they realized, they couldn't even convince U.S. adults of the seriousness of the climate crisis. And so a few years back, they decided, well, we can't scare adults, so let's go after the kids. So beginning in kindergarten through college, the indoctrination, you have the youth groups rising up, the climate activists suing the government to achieve better climate. You have the rise of Greta Thunberg, the Sunrise Movement. So I think all of these kids, unfortunately, are true believers. You have a few ideologues, say in the United Nations, and activists who actually believe that we face the end of the world. And even this man you played, Yuval Harari, I mean, he might be a true believer. He's allegedly some intellectual who people like Bill Gates devour all of his thoughts and books and love him. But the problem is, even if these are true believers, they mix with the greenwashers, the billionaires, the multinational corporations, and all the bureaucrats and politicians and the power-hungry people like Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. And this whole thing where you may have only 5% true believer turns into an elaborate con of you must do what we say or the earth's going to get you. It's like an old mob protection racket. Hate to see something bad happen to your home. Well, if you pay up and give us most of your income and ban your gas-powered cars and we need control your thermostat and you can't eat any more meat, we can make sure the Earth's weather doesn't get you in the end. That's what they're selling. Very few people actually believe it. But at this point, it's become, a way to make money, a way to gain power, a way to get attention, a way to virtue signal. And it shows no signs of abating. In fact, as COVID and climate have merged together now, unchecked climate change allegedly leads to more COVID-like viruses. So if you don't support the Green New Deal, you're a grandma killer.
Mark, Klaus Schwab has some very interesting things, meaning horrific things to say about global energy and food systems and supply chains. And well, here he is.
Go ahead.
We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
What does that mean, Mark?
It's a scare tactic so that we give over more of our power to him, so he and his ideas and his colleagues can save us. But here's the reality. They've been predicting things like food shortages due to climate change for decades. It's going to affect crop shortages. It's going to affect beer production. It's going to affect coffee production. What ended up happening is enough governments listened to this nonsense, started following a net zero climate policy, limiting emissions, and what's happened? The Netherlands shutting down high yield agriculture. The Netherlands shutting, the #1 meat exporter in Europe, shutting down animal agriculture. Canada now doing the same. Australia following suit. Across the world, a war on modern high yield agriculture is happening, which is creating what? Food shortages, food price skyrocketing, meat shortages, all part of their agenda, by the way, to make you not eat meat and to make you eat insects and lab-grown meat and fake meat. But what ends up happening, and this is the kicker of hypocrisy and irony, climate never caused these shortages they're talking about, but their climate policies created all of this mess. And even after the mess is created by their climate policies, they will look at the camera with a straight face and say, see, we warn you climate change would cause food shortages. It didn't, it was their policies. And therefore, we need more of these policies to save us, which will create more food shortages. It's nuts.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.